But going back to the word popularity, because that word popularity in itself, and then looking at drama, I feel like those are the key words for this moment right now, because it's what people are focused on. They just want to see who's the most popular, and they want to see what kind of drama is out there. Not saying they want to see who has the most drama, but just to be tuned in with any kind of genre is the big issue. Our focus is off. Our focus is not on the music. Yes, I can listen to Canadian artists. There's plenty of Canadian artists. Hopefully I can start doing some interviews on the side, just like pick their brain a little bit about what's going on and just talk about their artistry. But our whole focus is off, because how is it that we have so many thousands of artists all over the city, but we don't know their names? We're not focusing on the music here anymore. Yo, right here in the small box.
I'm heating up, I'm trying to burn down Toronto. Better keep 6 feet space, this 6-side shit contagious. Money coming in, all I see is numbers, like I'm in the Matrix. We've been in the trap.
All the way off guard. Yo, that's not even a joke. What's good, Brianne? How you feeling? How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what time it is. Let's go ahead. Let's get cracking. Let's have some fun. Let's tap in with your favorite Canadian reactor. Okay? Hi. All right. Enough kidding around. Let's go ahead. Let's get started. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Yo, right here. Right here in the small box. Right here in the small box. Welcome back to Single Seater Reactions, only on the Flex in My Network. I'm Flex. Welcome back to the channel. You see it here. You see it here. We love hip-hop. We're tapping in with Friday today, all right? So this video is titled, Has the Toronto Rap Scene Lost Its Impact? And I'm here to let y'all know right now. I already know the answer. It never had one. It never had one. We had it in the past, to make it clear. But because of how people like to forget, or this generation of kids really don't know anything about the music back in the day, it's almost like it's written off. Like nobody knows about Cardinal Official. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a conversation. We're definitely gonna check out this video. Hey, look, get yourself some drink, have some fun, kick back, and let's get started. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the reaction. Hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop my videos or when I'm live, like right now. And yo, let's get started, bro. Y'all know I like to chat. Let's just go.
We love hip-hop.
Don't do that. I mean, I did have this open for a minute, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
We love hip-hop.
Because, bro, I'm going to be honest, like, the scene is like, it just feels dead, bro. It feels like it doesn't even matter. That's the sad thing. It's not even that it's dead, because they're good, talented artists.
Yeah.
But it just feels like there's no impact like there used to be. It's not like someone drops a track and everyone's going crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Because nobody's taking it seriously. Not a single one of the individuals that are displayed within the city. If you want to talk about Smiley, Top 5, Pressa, Bundog. But look, more video. Let's go.
there's a couple here and there. The what, LTL?
LTL, yeah.
LTL, that's really it.
Yeah, there's artists.
Sav.
Drizzy, I 1000% agree with you, but everybody's going to put the boy in front of him, so.
Sav 4X and Team East crew, definitely. But it's even mainly just Sav 4X right now. You know what I'm saying?
But even when Hoodlum was on here, shout out Honcho, he was saying, oh, when he got out the bin, everywhere was playing Smoke Dog.
Yeah.
Everywhere you went. And he's like, by the third time, he had to ask if he was there.
Cap.
Because everywhere's playing it.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore besides LTL.
LTL and maybe Clippers, you probably, I don't know, because I'm not outside like that.
Yeah.
But you probably hear Clippers in the club.
Yeah. Those are the
Same.
only, like, it's literally those two. You'll hear a couple LTL songs. They have a few.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs when it comes to this shit because, you know, and salute to Julian. We'll get off of this Julian topic because, like, our Toronto scene, there's a lot of people who complain to me, right? In the comments, different places, right? Oh, you guys only talk about or cover the drama or promote. Let me use the words correctly. You guys only promote.
But you do, okay? Let's stop right there. every time I see a video from this individual, you definitely are promoting it, because at the end of the day, you're getting something out of this. All right. When I speak, it's different. I'm trying to speak life into the city. I'm trying to speak essence. I'm trying to speak like some just. I'm trying to give y'all the right energy. Y'all are on the wrong kind of time right now because it doesn't work. The same auto-tune that y'all love oh so much, it doesn't work. That's a problem. Y'all know my catchphrase by now. For some of the people that's been sticking around, how do you solve for X? Get rid of auto-tune. It's not that hard. The one thing I always say is that when it comes to your voice, what you sing with, what you rap with, that is your identity. Work on this. If you don't work on this, we have a problem. And that's damn near the whole city, because every rapper, and I'm speaking more towards rap because some R&B artists definitely use it, but they use it, but it actually works. For rappers, it doesn't work. For the ones here, I'm only speaking about the ones here in Canada, Toronto, Montreal, British Columbia, wherever. In Canada, it doesn't work, and we continue to promote the same thing over and over, thinking that it's going to work one day. News flash. The auto-tune era been done. Don't follow Travis Scott thinking it's going to work for you unless you can actually utilize that vibe, that essence, that energy. If you understand how to use that, then it can work for you. And emphasis on can, because that's always like iffy. My point is, step into a realm where you can actually do or utilize more creativity than just slapping some AI nonsense on it thinking it's going to work, because that's not going to fly. Auto-tune for a majority of these artists are not going to fly, but y'all continue to use it over and over. And newsflash, for anybody from Toronto that's watching this right now, if your heart is in pain, if your heart is burning just based off of what I'm saying, I'm sorry, but you got to pick that up with the Lord. Like, what are we talking about? We got to speak the truth. If you don't speak the truth, you're going to continue to live a lie. Now, is that something that you want to do? I'm just saying. Let's keep going. My energy's up right now. Let's go.
The drama. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing.
J-Tom, that's the
when
equation.
We're talking about all of this stuff, right? Do we ever promote it, or are we like saying, yo, that was dope, do it again?
Okay, we're not cheering it on, but us talking about it is promoting it on a technical level.
Your own man is telling you this.
You know, it's not championing it. It's not co-signing it, but just the sheer fact that we're talking.
People love drama. The negativity, the drama, everybody loves it. So if that's what you're going to promote, it's almost like you're promoting a storyline in a sense, because once something happens and then you have an update or a continuation to the same story, people are going to tap in to see what's going on over here just to learn about the story of this place. They're not even learning about the artists. That's why I told myself I would never talk about none of the violence here, because it doesn't help us. What we need help in is in music. We need help with that. Let's keep going.
Talking about it is promoting it because of the platform.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But then the thing is, and I hear that, but if there's also an alternative, if we want to call it that, because I feel like the alternative is actually the main thing, which is somebody like an interview with like a Cairo Snow, who you interviewed as well. You know what I'm saying? Or Rez Official, who just did the Box Cutter film, or all these different people who are not in the bullshit, bro. Or a story that we talk about that's not in the bullshit.
Yeah, but the viewers don't care.
But they say that they do, because they're like, you only promote the bullshit. You should be promoting good stuff like this, and...
You're denying it. It's already bad enough that we struggle with our own identity because we continue to pull from other identities. Mic drop. It's true. It goes all the way down to how we speak here. The way we speak, the Toronto man accent, we already know that's a mashup of a couple different accents in one. But the main essence of it is like a Caribbean patois kind of accent, you know? Cause you know I say when I speak like, okay, let me, cause y'all know I'm Jamaican. I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my point is when it comes to understanding self, understanding you, what you can represent, what you can bring to the table, not on some red table or like Kevin Samuels type. I'm talking strictly music and creativity. If you understand what you need to do, if you understand this is how I can build me, it can actually work. But the problem is that when it comes down to the city itself, we struggle to figure out or understand what we want to represent. The individuals that we claim on our Rushmore in today's current age, not just limiting it to 4, Drake, Tory, The Weeknd, Justin Bieber, if you want to throw Nav, Jesse Reyes, who else? Like, just from those names alone, the ones that I just have off the top of my head for the individuals that are in the stars or on the Mount Rushmore. From those, like, yeah, that's great that we have this established, but there's no foundation. There's no foundation. That's the crazy part. It's scary. It would also help if other musicians and cultures weren't ignored by Toronto. Rebecca, that is a very good point as well. But like I said, we struggle to understand or stick to one thing because when it comes to Canada, diversity is our main selling point. But y'all know what I'm finna say. Even though we have the diversity, it's almost like the blindfold that covers our eyes is the diversity, because take the blindfold off, look at it at its core. What do you see? You struggle to find something there. Now, why I'm going back this far is because when it comes to the music, the sound, the essence, we don't have a sound. We have a mood. We don't have a sound. Let's make that clear. Even though I've been doing the Canadian Weekly Artist Spotlight Series every Friday, even though I've been doing that, when we go through the music, when we go through the different sounds, it's literally different sounds, right? Now, the reason why I'm back here is because from this point, not saying that we necessarily need to find something, but we need to stick to a path. I've spoke about this before, how it's best to stick towards a genre than to just bounce all over the place and thinking it's going to stick. Yes, it's definitely important to branch out and just explore. But if you're exploring without direction, that's an issue. And that's a lot of artists. That is a lot of artists. Trust me, we have so much more video. I have a couple like pictures. There's a clip from a podcast that I want to show, but we're going to leave that for later. But I wanted to just build the conversation first before we jump over into the deep end. All right, so let's keep going with the video. We have regional artists that are amazing as well as the native rappers, etc. Y'all seem to not go out of your comfort level with exploring and experiencing other musicians and cultures, which comes off very ignorant. I 1000% agree with you. Quickie, say Prime Boys one more time. I swear to you. You know what? I might use Prime Boys as an example. Jesse Reyes is definitely a beast. Quickie, I might actually use Prime Boys as an example. You know what? You might have reminded me, and it might have helped this time. I might play some Prime Boys. And then I might play some like Bundog. I might play some Pressa. You know, I might play y'all some Smiley. I'm going to give y'all why it aggravates me. I'm going to give you the examples why it aggravates me for sure. Because we have the ability to do better, but the problem is we don't choose to. If you see Rebecca's point right there, native artists too. But none of them get the time of day. Why is that? Quickie excited. Let's keep going.
That until I post it, and less than 1,000 people, less than 500 people show up.
That's his problem.
So do they want it or do they not want it?
That's your problem. Your pivot, you thought it would work, but it didn't work. when you're playing towards the YouTube algorithm, when you stick to a certain niche, it's going to help boost your numbers for sure. If you're jumping around all over the place, it's going to be hard for YouTube to help you in a sense. But if you're going to stick towards drama as your niche, yeah, YouTube is going to give you the individuals that like that. But you're kind of losing the point by just focusing on that. Let's keep going.
I think everyone wants to see the bullshit. I'm not going to lie. Even if you're anti-bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You can be pro-bullshit, anti-bullshit, but you want to see it.
Yes.
If there's a fight and you're walking by, you might agree, you might disagree, but you're going to want to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's just so, like, primal.
Yeah.
And I fell victim to this recently, too. I was tuned in to an Icy Springer live recently.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's this girl named Birkin and DJ Chappelle. Honcho was there at one point. There's just a lot going on.
That's a cast of characters right there.
Bro, you heard it here first. And they're going back and forth. People are exposing each other, but I don't want to get too into it.
Yeah.
Bro, but I was so tuned in, bro. I'm in the chat like, yo, she didn't say that. He said this thing. You know, like, I think it's just entertainment for a lot of people, but it's also real life.
Yeah, it's real life.
Let me stop it there again, because that was a really good point that he brought up, which is going to help my point, because the one thing that I notice about when it comes to, and Toronto rap specifically, this doesn't really cross over to R&B, but the one thing that I see a lot that really bothers me is the politics. Like we've been talking about the drama, the politics that be going on. How you can't be on this side, or you can't be on this side, or you can't mess with this crew, or you can't mess with this crew, or you should not be seen with him or him. The politics is what is crippling the music scene here. This is why the impact just disappeared. Yes, Drake did something, regardless if he had help from UMG or not. Let's make that clear. It did work, because y'all know me, I work security, and I be hearing the tracks play. On Friday, there was a plethora. DJ couldn't stop playing Drake tracks. But that's what the crowd wants. The crowd wants for that. The crowd asks for that. And I don't just work at one spot. I work at a couple spots. Okay? I work at a couple spots. I work security at a couple spots. It's requested. So the reality is that the footprint is definitely all over. Okay? It's everywhere. You can't run from it. You cannot hide from it. It's just, you have to accept it. That's what happens when it comes to here in Toronto. That's what it is. So when I sit back and I'm seeing what's going on, and I'm paying attention to like the attitudes, the energy, the crowd, I'm just, you can't escape it. It's just a staple now. But it hasn't done anything. Even though this is the most requested artist, the favorite artist for a plethora of people all over the country, it hasn't done anything. There's no impact. Yes, like you have awards, you have the streams, you have the money, the accolades, but here on YouTube in the hip hop community, salute to the whole hip hop community, but Moni, Curtis, Company Man, like the list goes on, just to name a few. Read My Soul, just to name the ones off the top of my head. Jalopy, The Veil, just like I said, off the top of my head, for the individuals I tap in with and I learn from, and I educate myself with the videos that I watch from them. We see the nonsense. We see it clear as day, but the issue is, it's like the whole city can't see. They only want to see this. They only want to rely on this, which is why, from what I said yesterday, is going to be the follow-up today, because what is going on is it's iffy, because now when we look at the word impact, with what happened in Amsterdam where they're throwing toilet paper, the man got TP'd. I don't care if it's one toilet paper roll. You got TP'd. Okay? The man got TP'd. Salute to Tiff in the chat with Porta Potty Poppy. I would never think of some nonsense like that. But yo, look where we are. Look where we are. It's crazy. I think 40 should have been y'all version of Dr. Dre, and that is a wonderful point. Just off the first sentence, that is such a wonderful point. But they don't put in that kind of work. They don't put in that kind of work at all. Those two shaped the West Coast sound, working with all the rappers. 40 could have shaped y'all's sound by working with more Canadian rappers. I 1,000% agree. But now, if we're going to talk about 40 and we're going to talk about OVO, we already know what OVO is known for. Their label's known for. It's known for having, or not having, but being a sweatshop. They're known for that. Many Torontonians, many Canadians, we speak about that. But the issue is that anybody that speaks about these things don't have a platform. It's like they don't want to even enter the conversation because of the things that's been going on around the city, right? The way Tory took the Canadian sound and mixed it with the American sound, specifically Jersey, yes, off of that one album, I forgot the album name, but yes, I agree. I don't like Tory, but he could have had something if he had the mix stuff didn't happen. 1,000% agree. If the Megan Thee Stallion shit never happened, Tory Lane's career would have been better. And at the same time, he needs to keep his mouth shut. If you know, you know. It bothers me because these guys have been around for years. Drake has been around for years. And it's yeah, his popularity, and the word popularity is important. I'm going to explain it soon. His popularity is definitely important. His popularity has helped in some sort of way, just to give grace, for whoever that could be watching. But it could, just to give grace that his popularity has done something, but it's not substantial. Going back to the word impact, there's not much of an impact, because who's going to follow? Who's going to follow and say, I'm next? Now, there's only about 3 people that I've came up with, just based on going through my little series that I started. I think we're 10 weeks in with the next artist that we're going to deal with. But there's only about 3 people that I can list right now that can say, I'm next. I can be ready. I can be that guy. Toby, Savannah Ray, and I would like to put Aquila up there. 1 rapper, 2 R&B artists that I believe that can make some movements here in Toronto. But going back to the word popularity, because that word popularity in itself, and then looking at drama, I feel like those are the key words for this moment right now, because it's what people are focused on. They just want to see who's the most popular, and they want to see what kind of drama is out there. Not saying they want to see who has the most drama, but just to be tuned in with any kind of genre is the big issue. Our focus is off. Our focus is not on the music. Yes, I can listen to Canadian artists. There's plenty of Canadian artists. Hopefully I can start doing some interviews on the side, just pick their brain a little bit about what's going on and just talk about their artistry. But our whole focus is off, because how is it that we have so many thousands of artists all over the city, but we don't know their names? We're not focusing on the music here anymore. It's not the main goal. The music quality, in terms of the individuals that are household names in a sense, unfortunately, Smiley, Top 5, etc., the quality has gone down. And it's not good. But we continue to downgrade ourselves instead of try to work and upgrade us. Not saying that we're not doing it, because with the individuals and the artists that I have spoken to, they are putting in the work. It's just going to take a very long time. and with what's going on with the individual at the top that we call Aubrey, the way that he's treated on his tours and how he's treating his fans and how he likes to lie and then just it doesn't help us. The reality is, whether he likes it or not, is that you are a representation of us. If other people around the world are looking at you like this, what does that say about Toronto? Aubrey, it's not a good look. John Kabongo. Oh, I haven't forgot about John Kabongo. But Quickie, I love the fact that you remember his name and you're not from here. That just shows that there is potential behind John Kabongo as well. Right? Remember, I'm just going off the top of my head. I don't have a script or anything. Don't forget that part. All right? I'm just running with what I got in my mind. Like, that's how you know, like, when you're at the Flexion My Network, I really be talking for real. Like, I'm not kidding. But our focus is off, just to go back. Look, we have a lot more video. Let's keep going.
But we like to cover the fuckery. Not cover the fuckery. I'm talking about the audience as a member. Like, they're just, this is what they want to see. Because if the alternative's there and you don't watch it, then it's the proof is in the pudding, fam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if we only promoted anybody who has some violent shit going on and never upload anything else. Then it's like, I can hear you. You know what? You're right. I'm on some fuckery. I'm sorry or I'm not sorry. But it's like, if I'm providing you with something that is like fruitful, positive, and you don't want to click on it, then what am I going to tell you?
Here's what's happening. These guys, maybe they're not subscribed to, maybe they are.
Mm-hmm.
But the videos that are drama-based are getting pushed to their For You page.
Right.
Here's Friday talking about top 5 again.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Friday talking about Pressa again, whatever.
Right.
They might not even see the fact that you interviewed Cairo Snow. It doesn't even get to their For You page. So all they're seeing, and they're seeing the views.
Mm-hmm.
So they're seeing the videos that YouTube is showing them. And then it's going to make you seem like that's all you talk about because that's all that's being shown to them because they watch those videos. They watch related videos.
Yeah. It's a kind of a weird combination of audience, and once you click,
you strayed away from what you needed to do and only focused on what you wanted to provide, which is valid because seeing the views, seeing the likes, the comments, yes, that says, okay, I can run with this. But like I said before, you get lost. Friday, if you get lost, just imagine the individuals from here that watch you as well. They begin to get lost. That is a problem. That is a problem, wholeheartedly. Just think about it. And I'm not trying to gloat or anything like that, but from the Culture United that we watched where Friday was on, prior that, and I remember, because people, before I even know about the live or anything like that, but if people are saying that I should replace you because the talking points that I have were far superior than what you were saying in that live, my guy, it's not saying there's a problem or you're doing something wrong. There's just some education or learning that needs to happen to help you understand what is going on. But I feel like maybe you wanted to go against the grain to provide some sort of love for the city, but that's not realistic. You can still be critical about this and critical about that. As long as you understand how to get your point across, there's no problems. If individuals out there can't understand the things that you are truly saying, that's something they need to pick up with themselves to learn. Let's keep going. Doesn't help that Drake changes his accent, rides waves, and acts like he's 7 different ethnicities, kind of showing there's no identity in Canada, but there is. Here's the thing, Grizzy. Young Grizzy. There's definitely an identity here, but it's not displayed. Yeah, see, there we go. What Rebecca is saying. Because remember, Rebecca, for people that don't know, Rebecca is actually from Canada as well. All right? She's about like, what, a 45-hour drive from me. So, just give y'all some context. There is the people that say that don't explore anything outside their own comfort bubble, and it's ignorant as hell. So, she's speaking more towards the ignorance that a lot of Torontonians have, because they would, like, and it's, I understand why they think like this, because if there's not much music here that you can listen to, you're going to look outside the borders to find something you like. Not saying that we don't have anything to listen here. Because me personally, for this year alone, I've listened to a lot of Canadian artists. Plethora. Forever Friday. Quasi. Julius X. John Kabongo. Savannah Ray. Haley Smalls, Tome, Aquila, and then we have Toby, and then the newest one is, I'm going to save that one for when we get to the time, but that one's already ready to go. But I listen to a lot of Canadian artists around here. 45 hours.
On this, algorithm starts feeding you more of it, and now anything else is kind of pushed to the background, and it's like, causes this weird cycle, bro.
It's a cycle, so that's all they're seeing of you.
Yeah,
bro, I get paged on your behalf at least twice a month. I hear it, and I usually defend you. I'll be like, yo, like, you have to watch the other stuff he does. It's just the things you're seeing makes it seem like, oh, he's talking, but that's because that's what's getting views. But there's a whole other side that you're talking about stuff that, like, people might not just be interested in that day.
No, like, and you know, we'll get to another topic in a second, but like, I dropped the Cardinal Official interview the other day, and it did well, right? For us, and I was surprised, bro. I shouldn't be surprised that our Canadian treasure, legend Cardinal Official's interview did well, but it surprised me that like people tapped into it, because more times when somebody's talking sense, they're like, when's their next video? When you talk about somebody getting shot or something.
That just goes to show you that you didn't know who you were talking to. You might know who you were talking to, but you didn't know who you were talking to, because Cardinal Official was an international Canadian artist. Okay? Of course, he gets plenty of love in New York and in the Caribbean. Rightfully so. But that just goes to show you that you didn't quite understand that you are sitting down with the Cardinal Official. There is plenty of Americans that know about Cardinal Official and the hits that he had. All right, the biggest hit that he had easily was Dangerous with Akon. When we're looking at Cardinal Official now, it's you're dealing with a monster right there, but because it's almost like, for a lot of people, keep in mind, even though we love this person, a lot of people are not actually out there looking. So to see him on your platform, people are like, yo, Cardinal's back. Something like, yo, we know how the social media age work. They're going to see it, but they're not always going to follow. They're going to like, but they're not always going to subscribe. They're going to comment, or they're not even going to like, but they're going to do something. It's like everything is done half-assed, basically. Of course, we're in a microwave society. Everyone's lazy. It makes sense. All right? Even though it doesn't make sense in a microwave society, it makes perfect sense. My point is, that right there, that individual that you sat beside him, that you interviewed, and I called you out on it too, because you sat beside him, but you were allow somebody like Honcho Hoodlum disrespect the OGs and the greats, but you would sit beside an OG and a great. That means that your focus is off too. Going back to the point about focus, your focus is off right there. That's a problem. How do we refocus ourselves? Going back to the title of the live, like, Toronto never had an impact. Ever since we crossed over into the Drake era, it never had a real impact. Yes, has Drake gone international? Of course. This music's played all over the world. That's great. But where is the impact? How did it help us grow? How did it help us build up other artists? How did it help us start different programs and say, let's give back to the community, to the creatives in the city, and provide this, provide that. Not give money. I'm gonna give a donation here and there. I'm going to open up this and I'm gonna do this. And like, where is that? Is my question. Because there's nothing like that to make that clear. Okay? Let me go over to the Discord real quick, because I shared a photo on the Discord. Now, from when I saw this photo, I believe it was on like Instagram or something like that, that immediately, like, it just resonated with me heavy, because that's the kind of timing that we're on. That's the kind of timing that we should be on. Where's the photo? Where is the photo? Did I put in where did I put it? Okay, so while I go ahead and try to find that photo, I just wanted to talk about that real quick, because it was basically describing how with the Kendrick album, the Kendrick GNX album, and with Yo, W Grand Boulevard, thank you for your $5 dono. I appreciate you, no doubt. Thank you. We rock with Cardinal Heavy in Detroit. We always thought that Drake would work with Canadian hip-hop OGs, but he never has. And now look, lovely point. Lovely point. Lovely, lovely point. I'm glad that you actually said that. I'm really glad that you said that. But going back to the picture that I was kind of talking about, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up from where I originally found it. But I just wanted to talk about how with Kendrick's GNX album and with Metro Boomin's album, the throwback Atlanta, like 2005 kind of sound. I just want to talk about how those two individuals are trying to bring back regional sound. They're trying to bring back regional sound. That's not easy to do. That is a very difficult thing to do. That is not easy. All right, let's go ahead and let me just switch over my screen so I can show y'all the photo. So let's just switch real quick and I will show you what I am talking about. All right, let's make it happen. So cool, right here. It's time for music to get back regional. This is a post that Metro Boomin made on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Social media got everybody trying to do the same thing. Let's get back to actual culture and regional identity. I like what Metro Boomin did because that's Atlanta music, and Kendrick did GNX. That's Cali music. Regional music making a comeback. The one thing that we're missing here is it's like we don't necessarily have anything regional. Well, okay, we do. No. We do, but it's not on display. Like what Rebecca said. It's we definitely do have music regionally here, but honestly, I'd say about 90% of Canadians don't even know that we have anything regional here, if I'm going to be completely honest. It's going back to the word focus. Like, where's our focus at? We just want to turn up to something new. We want to hear another club record. You know what I'm saying? We want to hear something that's going to get us lit. You know, so we can go to those parties and drink and dance and just be happy. You know? So when it comes to watching the party die, a lot of us get scared because, like, what do you mean what do you want to end the party for? We're just trying to get lit over here. But this right here, the regional identity is the backbone to music, bro. It helps you identify where the music comes from, and then you can enjoy different pockets of wonderful music that's under this thing called hip hop. There's power behind that. That's wonderful. It's magical. It honestly makes the party even better, knowing that our sound is dope, but your sound is cool too. But the fact that it's so different and unique, it makes it even better to just party to, because now it's like, oh shoot, oh, we up in Atlanta right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, going over to Washington D.C., you know, going over to Jersey. We already know about Jersey House. You know what I'm saying? You go over to New York. New York got the boom bap. Like, come on, bro. But when you come up here to Canada now, it's like, shoot, bro, what we gonna do now? And it's not like I'm disrespecting or saying like, oh, this is us. No, it can give us an opportunity to kind of build something, even if you can't necessarily figure it out. Another thing that I mentioned is that you want to be, and it's a hard battle, but you want to be well known at the top of a genre. Not saying you're number one, but by dominating a genre, that also helps with building you, in a sense, right? So that's another option as well, even though we don't have a regional sound technically. Anyway, let's go back and continue watching this video because I have so much more to talk about. Boy. Oh, that's the Discord, and there we go. All right, let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's keep going.
So, you know, okay, that happened, but then it didn't set off as a trend. You know what I mean? It was just because it was Cardinal.
I think we lost the coolness that brought in a different audience. We're obviously gonna rate Toronto because we're from here, and then there are Americans that do like rock with Toronto.
Yeah.
But at one point we had an aura, and I don't know. And this is while Drake was still booming too. So, but we had that street aura too when we had all these artists and stuff. Like I'm talking like, you know, like Houdini, Smoke the Ali. You know what I'm saying? So we lost that. I think especially post battle, it's like no one wants to care. No one even wants to investigate what Toronto rap sounds like. They're not even interested in getting to know the real deal. Who are the real spitters? Like outside of Canada, maybe. You know? It's just there's too much better shit out there.
You see why I say you have to dominate a genre? If you can't find a sound, dominate something. That point helps. You know, let's go over to what Rebecca's saying. Toronto honestly keeps the rest of Ontario out of the spotlight for the most part. Hell, we even have some pretty bad jazz, badass jazz players too. It's like people think Toronto is the only city this province has. It's kind of annoying. Rebecca, do you remember when some certain individuals in this live try to name off different provinces in Canada different cities within Ontario, and they were listing provinces that were neighboring Ontario? Do you remember that live? And that was like a wonderful laugh, by the way. That was such a good laugh. Quickie. To the drama, to the popularity. Though there's a reason why I brought those two up, and I'm glad that you spoke about that, because with the popularity and the drama, that comes with what city? Toronto. That's all people are ever going to know. When we have Drake running around doing all this nonsense, what city does he always end off talking about? Toronto. He doesn't talk about Brampton. He doesn't talk about Mississauga. He doesn't talk about Hamilton, Oakville. He doesn't talk about Burlington. He doesn't talk about Malton. He doesn't talk about Halton. Okay, he doesn't talk about Milton. Okay, he's talking about Toronto, and only people are going to know about Toronto just through him. That also goes to show that a lot of people outside of Canada are really not looking for music like that. How do we get those eyes back? Not only how do we refocus, how do we get other people to focus here? There's no eyes going on around here. There's little eyes, small eyes. Okay? So that's another issue. That's another issue. It really is. But you made a good point with the arrogance now, because even though a lot of people don't know about us here in Canada, in Ontario, a lot of people in Ontario, specifically in Toronto, don't know about the rest of the world. Don't know about, there's so many, listen, there's so many Canadians, there's so many Torontonians that know nothing about America, but they're going to speak bad about America. Not saying that's what we do around here, but for the arrogant individuals that don't want to take the time to learn and educate themselves about the neighboring country, they're going to, of course, they're going to speak a certain kind of way. And there's a lot of people around here like that. Because I think I made this point a while ago when it comes to the diversity. Yes, because we have all this diversity here, people think that's it. Okay, we have every representation here in Canada, in Toronto, in Ontario. That's got to be it. Not realizing that America's right there, but for a lot of people, they're not going to know unless they make that travel. I'm fortunate enough to know. I'm fortunate enough to grow up with American programming. I've mentioned this multiple times already. You know? It's okay if you do, we do it all the time. Yeah, valid, completely valid. You know, it shows off that little arrogance that everybody has, but like sometimes you got to put that to the side to really learn about other people around the world and educate yourself and just take in other parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? But let's refocus and get back to the point.
It's a sad reality, bro. Yo, bro, you just made it dark, man. I'm so glad I'm not a rapper anymore, bro. Because if I'm watching this as a rapper, I'll be like, yo, Czar, shut up, man. You're bringing my reality to the forefront.
Yo,
bro.
Even you as someone who covers Toronto hip hop, you're affected by that because when Toronto hip hop is booming, you're booming.
True.
If it's not booming, that's gonna affect you because that's what you're covering.
Yes and no, because unfortunately, I can just always default back to something criminal, and people are just gonna watch.
That just goes to show that you're following a trend, brother. You're just following a trend. Now, do you think trending topics are the right topics to be talking about to help push Toronto? No. It makes things worse, to be honest. Let's keep going.
Watch that. You know what I'm saying?
So, if you weren't to do Toronto content, would you just do straight up true crime?
Yes, but at the same time, there's always something Toronto related. You can talk about somebody that's not even well known in the city, but if he had like an incident where like something crazy happened, he crashed out, he got arrested for some attempted murder or something like that, people will watch it anyway. And this guy,
my guy, you talked about a 14-year-old that stabbed some 71-year-old old woman. Bro, leave that news for CP24, bruh. Why did you think that was a good idea for you to cover that? I would never give that boy some clout, ever. Remember, when it comes to clout, good or bad news, it don't matter as long as people know Wagwan. Like, no. I'm not going to give my time to talk about that. That's foolish. That is absolutely foolish, and I refuse to even partake. I want to stick to the music. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to talk way more about artist development on this channel than anything else, and how to develop your brand, how to develop your character, how to develop just you and just be you and just be great and outstanding as you. How do you amplify yourself? How do you amplify your voice? How do you amplify your pen? How do you work on yourself? How do you train yourself? How do you educate yourself? What kind of learning material should you be listening to? How do you want to show the world who you are? What kind of character are you? What do you want to show? What do you want to display? You have a billboard, for example. What do you want on that billboard to say, this is me and this is who I be? You know what I'm talking about? Like, I really want to focus on that now because, like, there's so much more power within that than anything else. Because that's how you build you. But, of course, at the end of the day, you must learn the business. You must learn the business. And me, you know, with the way the industry is formed and shaped today, with advertising and marketing and PR and branding, for me, an individual that graduated for advertising and marketing communications, I've really taken the time to really learn what's going on. Like, as I watch these videos and I'm starting to educate myself based on the kind of greats that I listen to, salute to Curtis King, You know what I'm saying? To the greats that I be tapping in with. I be really learning. Like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. For the individuals, I know a lot of us here hate Joe Budden. I'm not gonna lie. One of his Patreon episodes that he had with Kev on Stage, I still can't believe Kev on Stage was on the Joe Budden podcast. My point is, and that wasn't his first time. My point is, or was that his first time? Anyway, they had a really good conversation about branding and marketing that I think a lot of people should really sit and talk about. I might talk about it myself because that's really like my lane, just to learn and just teach, you know? And speaking of that, going over to the Patreon episode real quick, since I'm going to mention it. 1 hour, 10 minutes.
Piece to it, right? There's the sales.
So they're having a conversation about, you just drove from work. Safe driving is best driving. Amen, brother. Amen, King. As long as you're safe, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to talk about this for a second because they actually brought up a really, really, really good point in this when it comes towards the borders between cultures. So I just want to let this fly for a little bit.
Part, but is there places where like you just feel like the crowd don't get you?
Yeah. Don't get me?
Yeah.
And for the individuals that don't know who this is, Kev on Stage is a comedian, more on the Christian side. You know, he's not necessarily your holiest of thou, but he is definitely anointed. Let's make that clear right now. That boy is definitely anointed, right? But as a comedian that's going around the world, going to different areas, different countries, and he's telling jokes about things that's going on in America, not realizing that a lot of parts of the world don't have that. I just wanted to let this fly for a little bit.
There's the sales part, but is there places where like you just feel like the crowd don't get you?
Yeah. Don't get me?
Yeah.
Culturally, there was, when I performed in Toronto, and that was the first time I realized black culture, American black culture is not the same.
Totally different.
Toronto, I was thrown off. They didn't play spades nearly as much as I thought. You know, so I was like,
oh man,
oh my God, like these jokes, we're bombing. They don't know what we're like. Certain jokes are like hitting the floor, and it was just I didn't realize black culture.
Yeah, Toronto blacks are
specifically
different.
American black culture is there's similarities, but it's not exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then there's like even London is as well.
London
they don't
blacks
have
too,
like
yeah.
the DMV. And the culture is a little bit different. So Tony had a joke about the DMV one time. He was like, "Bro, what's up with this
What's
joke?"
the DMV? Right.
Yeah, they were like, "We don't have the DMV the way you have it, and there's not long lines, so we don't know what you're talking about." So we're like, what's the problem? So,
Gotta
but as far
scratch
as
that
just
joke.
like,
Right.
yeah, he had to scratch that joke overseas. Like it didn't go well.
Makes sense. With everything I spoke about when it comes to Toronto and our culture and the lack thereof, technically, it makes sense. You know? No, we don't, bro. We'll definitely play some dominoes, but we ain't. Listen, let me tell you something. We don't know about no spades, bro. King, we don't know nothing about no spades, bro. I'm gonna promise you that right now. I think marketing music is where Canada fails hard at doing. Absolutely. And performing it as well. We definitely need to learn how to tour our cities. But the marketing is the greatest like downfall for us. But just I wanted to play that for a little bit because that just goes to show you that for us it's really different here. You know what I'm saying? It's tough because we're all black, but we don't really live what other people live. So when it comes to that border, that cultural border, when you cross over here, you're crossing over to a melting pot. You're not crossing over to another part of your culture. You're crossing over to a melting pot of different plethoras of genres. Not genres, but cultures. But that in itself, because there's so many different things to focus on, I think the theme for this whole video is focus. Because we're not focused on this. And if we're not focused on this, how are we going to work on making this better? You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. It's tough because we're missing out almost. we're missing out completely. And it really sucks because there's a lot of people here that can compete. Not saying we're going to compete with your legends, but we can definitely compete with y'all current artists. There's definitely individuals here that compete, especially in the R&B space. But yes, going back to the marketing and learning the business, that's something we also struggle with here because within Canadian history, from when hip hop rap first touched the land here, it wasn't reviewed well. A lot of people never liked it, which is a very big missed opportunity for Canada because we should have accepted it. That was an opportunity to accept it. It was still controlled. That was the magical thing about it. It was actually pretty controlled when it came here. It wasn't as chaotic as America. Not saying that, oh, that's what it is, but just saying with the events that happened, it wasn't as chaotic when it came here. Like that was the missed opportunity. We had the control in a sense, but we just completely missed the mark. And now with today's music and how it promotes violence, we have so much music that promotes nothing but violence, which is why you have so much violence going on in the city. So if you were to go over to Friday's channel and view his content and he's speaking about the violence that's going on around the city, that's because it's influenced by the nonsense that we continue to play over and over. If you're going to go over and listen to a Doovie, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when you go over Smoke Dog, any of these individuals, like, yo, it's really not good. It's not good at all. The way how we all need to collectively focus. The magical thing about Canada is that our unity and our like energy and our drive is our gateway into getting into the competition. But if we can't agree and come together on those things, then it's never going to work for us here. That's the scary part. Now looking back at Drake and what's going on stage, the reality is that whether you like it or not, you are a representation of us. Wherever you go, you like to end your show saying that you are Drake, Drizzy, Drake, whatever, from Toronto, the boy, whatever, from Toronto, Canada. That's cool. Now people know about the city of Toronto. But now once people start to do their research and they find channels like Fridays, where he's speaking about nothing but violence that be going on, people are going to tune in like, oh my God, Drake came from here? When in reality, our violence is like minute compared to a lot of other places around the world. I'm one of those blacks that don't play spades. That's crazy. Yeah, absolutely, King. Not all black people play spades. That's tough to swallow. Canada, UK, America, there is all different black cultures there. I'm noticing big time the reoccurrence of them of ignorance lately. To just be watching spades tables, I'm dead. I'm the dominoes guy. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all already know I'm the dominoes guy. But just speaking about how we need to unify. We have the ability to be unified, but we don't want to promote the unity in a sense, if that makes sense. Because where it is needed, we don't show up. That's a problem. How do we fix that? How do we change that narrative? There's so many different narratives that we need to change around here, but it's tough because we don't want to listen, because we just want to see what's popular. We want to see what's popping. We want to know about the politics, and I'm not talking about the government. And we want to know more about the drama. It's almost like Toronto is one great big reality show filled with a whole bunch of seasons. And that is not good. Last time I checked, we have the ability to take over the airwaves, but we just want to be a channel. Just think about that.
It has like 1,000 followers. It's just people love drama, period.
That's true.
It's not contention on the rappers being popping. It just, is your story gory enough?
Is your story gory enough?
Yeah.
I think every rapper should ask themselves that.
Yeah.
In 2025, because it's like, it doesn't even matter if you can rap. Is your story gory enough? Are people gonna like buy into the idea of you and what you represent, what you stand for, or do you just have some bars?
Perfect example. that youth that crashed out who got arrested the other day, he's not somebody who we've been following his rap career for. We found out that he rapped from him stabbing an old lady.
And, can I be honest? Like, should we be a little more hesitant in using the word rapper to describe someone? Because to me, your primary
top 5 is not a rapper.
Vocation or your occupation, that's what you should address yourself as.
Right.
If you're a doctor, that's how you make your money. And you have a couple of rap songs that you've never been a rapper full time in terms of the financial aspect.
Right.
I'm not going to call you a rapper. You're a doctor. You know what I'm saying? You're not a rapper. You work at Shoppers Drug Mart. You know what I'm saying?
But
until you can make it a career, because I was like that too. But I can honestly say I'm a DJ because I get paid to DJ and that's how I pay my bills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I start rapping and like I have aspirations to be a rapper and someone's like, yo, what do you do? Oh, I'm a DJ, I'm a producer, I'm a rapper. It's kind of like, are you actually a rapper or like?
I just wanted to stop this video because I did say I have a surprise for you guys. I haven't forgot about the surprise, and I'm not going to lie. My knee and my foot has been kicking this surprise this whole time I've been sitting here. So I think this is a great opportunity for actually me to show off this surprise. I want to let y'all know that when I show you this, I'm going to put a lot of time into this. I just want to say that first because I really want to make this work. But for the individuals I want to know about the surprise, I just remembered, I'm not even going to lie. Oh, shoot, it's kind of heavy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I might as well go ahead and show y'all this surprise. I got myself some turntables, baby. Yeah. I got myself some turntables, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is crazy. Man, I hit a lick. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I hit a fat lick. Like, but yeah, I just want to show that off just a little bit. Not too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep going, though.
Are you an aspiring rapper?
Yeah. That's like, yeah, aspiring rapper would be the more better term to use, but come on, a lot of these guys can't even spell aspiring, man. Yeah.
Is a rapper just anyone who can rap, I guess?
No, we're bastardizing the term. We shouldn't be calling them rappers. You just rapped before. That's all it is. You have some rap songs, but you're not a rapper. You're a crash out. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the point is with him, that did crazy as far as views. He has nothing to do with any rap shit that anybody knows of. But it still did well because there's still some kind of like will to watch something dramatic. So even if all the Toronto rappers fell off, the podcast would still survive as long as somebody's getting in drama.
That's true. It's almost like we are replacing the news.
Basically.
No, you are replacing the music. I'm so glad I clicked on this video because like everything that's being said is so concerning. But with me here, I'm going to definitely talk about the concerning parts. But when I speak, I'm speaking for the sake of building an opportunity or finding an opportunity because there are definitely so many eras where we need to fix what we did. There's so much fixing we need to do, but we need to start now because the great that we had, which is Aubrey, is falling whether you like it or not. 15 years in the rap game is a little bit too much if I'm going to be like completely honest, especially since the music has been declining. And I'm not saying to be bashful or anything like that, but we need to be realistic. If you're going to sit there and continue to lie to yourself over and over and over and over, we have a problem because now you're just running from the truth. And if you're going to continue to run from the truth, my guy, when are you going to wake up and just stare it in the face and say, you know what? It's about time I do something. When are you going to take that opportunity? Because as far as I see it, especially with Friday here, it's like it's never going to happen because we only want to focus on the negativity. But if you're going to continue to focus on the negativity, when are things going to start getting positive around here is my question. Like, let's be real.
Or like at least an opinion on what's happening in the news.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree, yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, speaking of things that are happening in the news,
We
thanks
love
for
hip
watching.
hop.
If you
All right, enough of you. Damn, I can't believe Moni came in here. I don't even think she's still here. But the fact that like seeing her name in here is crazy, bro. That's just another big name that says just stepped over to the Flexing Mind Network. You know what I'm saying? Yo, the company man. Yo, I want to be on your next Culture United, bro. I want to spit some game for the people out here. I want to speak life into the city. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what can I say? Everything I'm saying is true. And with everything that I spoke towards, they help prove it. Which just goes to show you that the problem is real. Now that we identified the problem, how do you solve for X? I love saying that. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's actually a very serious question. And it's not the answer that J. Tom has shown in the chat. But it's along those lines for sure. It's definitely along those lines for sure. You know? So, yes, this was a wonderful video to tap in with. I want to see if I can get this one out as soon as possible, because I really want to make sure that I get this out there for the people to see. I don't care about the views. I just want people to know about what's going on here. I want them to learn from somebody that's speaking the truth and not continuing to hide and lie about things, because that doesn't help us. The lies that we continue to share and talk about only creates more problems and less solutions. Why don't we create more solutions and less problems? How do you do that? You just flip that. Flip that statement. And then you can see more positives, but we need to collectively do that. If we can collectively do that, we can bring about so much change and create more life and more greatness within the city. But if we can't even do something as simple as that, something as simple as come together and help promote this platform. Salute to Toronto rap stars, by the way, because they're slowly starting to push a whole different like era of artists. And hopefully I can help amplify that voice alongside with what I'm doing here, with how I'm amplifying the voices of the artists that I'm looking out for. You know, but with this video right here, I hope this helps start a conversation. That's the one thing I care about. Even if I can't get the answer together right away, at least I can start a conversation. Flex Mob is on the radar. Shit, bro, I'm trying my best out here. You know what I'm saying? But just to get on that radar, just to start the conversation, that matters the most, because we're starting to speak about change, the same change that we run from. We're starting to focus. We're starting to step away from the drama. We're learning how to utilize our popularity. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that we need to do. But if we cannot do that, that's a problem. And like I said, when it comes to problems, hey, how do you solve for X? That's it, man. That's how it be. Damn, I still can't believe Chilling with Moni was here. I still can't believe Chilling with Moni was here. That's crazy, bruh. Damn, we have Moni up in here? Jeez, we got our cousin up in this. What? Great video though. Great conversation. Let's end off on some funny-ish. Let's go check out some quality, shall we? Let's go.
I don't live in present tense, so just over a Daytona. Girl, my life been like a kid drama. Walking to.
Bye, have a beautiful time.